Hey everybody, and welcome back to another What's on the Shelf, and we're now on part 37. So on this shelf I have Tiny Epic Tactics, Tiny Epic Kingdoms Heroes Call, Tiny Epic Zombies, and Tiny Epic Mechs. So the first one is Tiny Epic Tactics, and this is like when the Tiny Epic game decided to go 3D. The board, when you build the board together, you actually use all the, actually the box is part of the game because it has a sleeve and you pull out the sleeve and the box turns upside down and it's part of the game. And there's other little boxes in there that you kind of all stack up and create this 3D map that you're going to be playing on. Each character will control each players will control 4 different characters. So everybody will have an archer, everybody will have a wizard, and so on. And you all have, so a player that will have similar abilities, but each character you have has a specific ability of what they can do. If your archer has a range of so far, but if he's on high ground and he's shooting down at people, then he has a higher range and he can shoot further into the map. And there's different pockets. It's kind of like you're trying to control different flags, right? What is it called? I guess the game of flag, where you're trying to capture the flag, but you're trying to get into these one areas, and if you gain control there, the flag moves forward by one, and you battle. Now you can, if you're battling another player, then it can cause for them to be pushed back, right? So you can force them out of that controlled area so that you get control there. And it's interesting. It's definitely a neat one. You have the 4 cards kind of showcasing each of your characters. You can, destroy another person's character. Now they're down to 3 and you've captured one of them, and so on. It's definitely not a co-op game. It's each man for themselves. You can play this one as well as a solitaire version, where you turn the box inside, and you kind of go down in this cave. And I've never played it that way. I'm not huge on solo games, but a lot of the Tiny Epic games have a solo mode that you can do, which is great because a lot of people like to play solo, which I can see. It's not always easy to find willing players. So this one is Tiny Epic Tactics. The next one I have on the shelf is Tiny Epic Kingdoms Heroes Call. So this one's an expansion actually to the Tiny Epic Kingdom. Tiny Epic Kingdom was the first Tiny Epic game that I bought. It's kind of an area control. Everybody has a map. You start on your own map. You can spread out and kind of take over some other players' maps as well, trying to collect resources and kind of level up your character and kind of build up your tower defense. And this one here adds, so it's 5 players there, so you see the maps. So far it all looks like the same one, and from what I understand, that's the biggest change in the Tiny Epic Kingdom. Whoever develops their tower first gets the advantage because there's so many points there, and this kind of to the point where if you didn't level up when someone did, because every time they level their tower, you have the option to spend your resources to level up as well. And if for any reason you don't, then you're tagging, you're lagging behind, and you probably won't win because there's so much points in the tower. And this kind of takes the whole tower portion and kind of redevelops that a little bit. I've honestly never played this one. It also brings the solo element to the Tiny Epic Kingdom, because I believe that the Tiny Epic Kingdom didn't have a solo mode originally, and then this is adding one. Then the next one I have is Tiny Epic Zombies. This one looks so good. This was the first Tiny Epic game that I had purchased on Kickstarter. And so far, Kickstarter, it's been mostly just Tiny Epic games. But you have all these cards and you create this grid with them, and it builds a mall. And the cards are double-sided, so there's different rooms that you'll have in this mall. So you create your mall. And in the middle, you have these little tiny little white meeples, and those are the survivors. And they're in the middle of the mall, and they're trying to survive this zombie attack in the mall. And then you have your item meeples, because you can collect weapons to attack the zombies and protect yourself from them. And then you have the zombies all around the mall, and they look so cool. Like they have their hands out in front of them, and they're green, and it's all print screen, and it looks great. Then you have your character card, and on your card you have the bullet, which is how many bullets that you have, and you have your health, and your character dies. And I'll kind of explain that in a bit, but if the health and the bullet ever meet, no matter where that is, if your bullet depletes and your health, you take more hit, whenever those two things meet, your character, for lack of a better word, dies. And I'm saying that because you flip the card over and it's become a zombie, and then it goes to the zombie player. Now, this game can be played in a lot of different ways. You can play it co-op. You can play it where everybody's for themselves. You can play it where one player controls the zombies and all the other players are the survivors trying to get out. So if you become a zombie, then that card goes over there and it's now part of the zombie horde. And you would take on a new card, and then you take one of those little white, tiny little survivor meeple, and that's who you are now. It's really neat. It's a really cool concept, the way that it all comes together. The components are great, and you're moving around because there's a mission. Like, you start the game, and those changes all the time. You either have to kind of go around collecting radio parts so you can call for a helicopter, or collecting parts so you can fix something so that you can get out. And so there's a mission you got to do, collect the different things you got to do before you can then get out. And then that's how you would win the game. So neat game. Definitely want to play that one again. The components are so neat and cool. There's a little cop car. Oh, I can't talk today. There's a little cop car, and there's a little motorcycle that your meeple actually sits inside. It's so cool. The next one I have is Tiny Epic Mechs. This one, you have your item, your meeple, and you're going around, and it's a programming game where you have your cards and you kind of select on all the actions you're going to do, and that's all selected. And then you go ahead and flip them and you move around, but depending on what the other players are doing, what's going to happen, it might kind of conflict on what you were hoping to do. And then you can get a little mech suit on, and you put your item meeple on the mech suit, and then there's the mega mech that's in the middle, and you can get on that and you collect weapons. And this is all from watching tutorial videos, because I haven't actually played this one yet. And I don't know why, it looks so cool, and I think the kids would love it. And it's just, this one has intimidated me a little bit. I've never done a programming game. I also have, Robo Rally, that's kind of a similar style, and I've never played that one yet either. So really got to get this one played, but it does look so neat. The component looks great, and then you have like the items and the weapons you can put on your mech and on your meeples, and I really do want to get this one played soon. So that was it for this shelf. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, my Facebook group is Didsbury and Area is Playing All the Games. I am also on Instagram as boardgame_mama. And my YouTube channel is Board Game Mama. So be sure to stay tuned for the next What's on the Shelf. And we'll see you, everybody. Bye-bye.